This week in Jamaica Now, arrested, charged and bailed. What's next for former Education Minister Ruel Reid, the CMU President Dr Fritz Pinnock, and their co-accused in a major corruption probe? An attorney says the case is going nowhere.
It is like a big gun without a bullet.
The Financial Investigation Division says it could get a fiat to prosecute the matter. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck withdraws criticisms about the investigators in the corruption scandal. Opposition Senator Dr Andre Haughton says sorry after controversial breast comment in the upper house.
And ask which part of the female I prefer, breasts. Otherwise, I prefer the breast.
Munro college footballer dies in his sleep. And Rihanna is in Jamaica. Why the hashtag lit up Twitter this week? I'm Damian Mitchell and this is Jamaica Now. It was the story that led the newscasts this week. Former Education Minister Ruel Reid among 5 people arrested and charged and bailed on corruption offenses. The other accused, his wife Sharon, their daughter Sherelle, President of the Caribbean Maritime University Professor Fritz Pinnock, and Counsel for the Brownstown Division in St. Anne, Kim Brown-Lawrence. The 5 were arrested in simultaneous pre-dawn operations in St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and St. Anne. For 4 hours and 20 minutes, investigators searched Pinnock's properties and seized computers and documents before he was taken for questioning at the headquarters of the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA. At the house of Ruel Reid, investigators were also searching and would do so for a total of 7 hours before Mr. Reid, his wife and their daughter emerged under a cheetah print blanket. By now, the Brownstown Division Counsellor Kim Brown-Lawrence had been transported to Kingston and was being interrogated by investigators. All 5 accused were later charged with a range of offenses, including fraud and corruption. And the day after their first night in jail, the 5 accused appeared at the St. Andrew Criminal Court for a bail hearing. The former Education Minister was granted bail in the sum of $3 million, Professor Pinnock $2 million, Kim Brown-Lawrence and Sharon Reid $1 million, and Sherelle Reid $500,000. In granting bail, Senior Parish Judge Vaughn Smith ordered that they report to the police twice weekly and surrender their travel documents. The accused have also been warned not to visit the Education Ministry or the Caribbean Maritime University. All 5 accused are to reappear in court on January 23 next year. In the meantime, Robin Sykes, the Financial Investigation Division boss, says he could seek to obtain a fiat from the Director of Public Prosecutions to privately prosecute the matter in court. In July, the FID had sought the opinion of the DPP. She found that 4 criminal laws were possibly breached, but recommended further investigations, saying, however, that the decision to lay charges rested with the investigators. On Wednesday, Ms. Llewellyn said she found it strange that the investigators did not return to her before their decision to arrest and charge the key players in the Education Ministry CMU corruption matter. But according to Mr. Sykes, there was no need to. He said investigators are confident they addressed the key points raised by the DPP and even went beyond that. And attorney-at-law Hugh Wildman says investigators appear to be in a quandary to make a case against his client, Professor Fritz Pinnock.
A proper investigator would have had that information to confront him with it yesterday and say, look here, these are text messages that we get from this phone. Can you speak to that? Nothing was done like that. So for the clerk of court to have read out, so this is what we are alleged. Look here, that is woefully inadequate. Woefully inadequate. That is just grandstanding. Grandstanding. There's absolutely, and that's why I say it is like a big gun without a bullet.
The Justice Minister Delroy Chuck also raised the issue about the investigation.
The arrest took place, which looks like Nicodemus in the night. I don't get the impression that these persons are actually running away. They have made themselves available on all occasions. So in fact, if an arrest should have been made, they could easily have been asked to come in so that they could be charged. And in these persons' cases, if they are to be charged, the impression I suspect that they could easily have been granted their own bail, because these are persons, or they could be asked to surrender their travel documents, as the case may be. I think it's unfortunate that it has become so salacious in that, you put so many persons at these people's gate, and it appears in some instances, from the little I've heard, is further search for more material. So it seems like the authorities are still not sure what they're looking for.
Chuck would later withdraw the comment amid intense public criticism.
As Justice Minister, my comments were inappropriate and I duly withdraw them in their entirety.
In other news, Opposition Senator Dr. Andre Haughton has withdrawn his controversial comment made in the Senate last week as lawmakers rose in observance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Senator Dr. Sapphire Longmore, a breast cancer survivor who has had a double mastectomy, had just made her contribution when Dr. Haughton got up to make his address. He sympathized with Senator Longmore, spoke about his aunt who died as a result of breast cancer, then highlighted the benefit of breastfeeding before making this controversial comment.
As a child growing up, I always loved breasts. My mother always said I'm a breast man. Even when I was 1 year and 2 months, I was still drinking breast milk. So yes, 1 year and 2 months, I was still drinking breast milk. So I am a breast man. When asked which part of the female you prefer, breasts. Otherwise, I prefer the breast.
Dr. Haughton later took to Twitter and the airwaves, defending his utterances, saying only the negative was being highlighted. However, amid mounting public pressure, he withdrew the comment and said sorry on Monday. Munro College in St. Elizabeth is in mourning following the death of 14-year-old third-form student Diego De Souza. De Souza passed away in his sleep on Wednesday morning. A spokesperson for the school said preliminary investigations revealed that the boy died of natural causes. No further information was provided. De Souza was described as an affable, well-respected, and exceptional footballer. Counseling is being provided for the staff and students. Finally, Jamaica took the spotlight this week after Twitter users weighed in on the hashtag Rihanna is Jamaican, seeking to convince the world that Barbadian superstar Rihanna represents the 876. It started out with a photo comparing the Jamaican dollar with the higher value Barbadian currency. One person responded saying despite that, Jamaica is very powerful, producing musical stars like Vybz Kartel and, get this, Rihanna. That set off the hashtag Rihanna is Jamaican. The comedic hoax trended all over and was picked up by US media. Civil society groups, corporate brands, as well as government agencies and officials even joined in the fun. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, more from Hugh Wildman, the attorney representing Fritz Pinnock in the Education Ministry CMU corruption case.
And when you look at this particular warrant, they took things from the warrant, from the house, that were not covered under the warrants. For example, the computers and all these things were not named in the warrant, which you had to do based on the Danai Williams case.
So what was named in the warrant?
They're just some documents.
What type of documents?
Just a document. It was not specific enough, and then they go now and put things that are not covered in the warrant.
Going forward, what we expect come January 23rd?
Well, we have to see the disclosure that they make on us, and but after the disclosure, then we can go further. And go on with the matter, because we are confident based. In fact, when I look at what was being done over the period of time that this investigation was taking place, it is clear to me that the police, they were under pressure to come up with some charge. They were under pressure, and I would not say, but they were under pressure, and they had to do something.